we should not say that, because if the rain could have if we could have got some more time, then we would have winded up everything, and so we would have
But
enjoyed a lot.
Till that time, it was very nice.
Yeah, it's Jagannath's mercy, Lord Jagannath's mercy. What if the rain would have showered when the Ratha procession was going on? Then it would have been even more difficult for us to manage. So, anyways, it was Lord Jagannath's mercy. Thank you all for joining today. And okay, so we'll start. Anybody wants to take the lead in reciting prayers? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Who wants to lead the prayers?
I'll try, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhu. I request everyone to switch on to the video mode if you can, if possible. Yeah, please go ahead, Krishna Rao Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. One minute, just.
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Lakshmata. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you're audible.
It's Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnana Timrandasya
Tasya Jnananjana Shalakaya
Jnananjana Salakya
Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kata Mahyam Dadhati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Shri
Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha
Shri Rupam
Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragtanitam Samsajivam Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Visakhan Vitam Sacha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatrupya Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvesa Sunyavadi Paschata Desacharine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And another one.
Thank you, Prabhu. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudret Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Itkrupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramanandam Adam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Thank you. Thank you, Krishna Rao Prabhu. Thank you for taking the lead in reciting the prayers. Okay. Thank you all for joining today. I request whoever can switch on to their video mode, please do switch on. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I was told by Govardhan Prabhu, His Grace Govardhan Prabhu, that in the last class he spoke until 13.19. Is that correct? How many of you have attended the last class?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine, great. So we will discuss from 13.20 today. Before we discuss the slokas of the 13th chapter, I wanted to tell you the glories of the 13th chapter. There was a wonderful pastime happened, in regarding to this Gita 13th chapter, which is Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the body, nature, and the enjoyer. So it was a very wonderful pastime. Once in the South India, uh, on the banks of Tungabhadra River, there was a city, there was a village called Harihara Kshetrapuram. So in this village, there was a Brahman who used to live. His name was Hari Dikshita. He was a Shrauta Brahman. So he was a very pious man. Always, he used to study scriptures and lead a very pious life. However, his misfortune was his wife. Her name was Durachara. So, what is the meaning of Durachara? Can anybody tell?
Bad behavior.
Yeah. So she was the personification of her name because she always used to misbehave. People gave her a name called Durachara. She always used to get into fight with all the villagers. Never used to listen to her husband. Never, though she was a Brahmin woman, she never used to follow scriptures, study scriptures, or lead a Vedic life. She always used to lead a very impious life. Okay, so her husband, being a very pious man, he left hopes on her. I mean, he left hope. So this woman, leading a very very impious life. So see, whenever somebody does something or lead their life against to scriptures, all bad habits will come and mingle with them. Like if somebody is fighting with them, which is called himsa. If somebody does himsa, then again the siblings of himsa are lust, greed, and illicit relationships. All these things will follow if one involves in himsa. Okay, so this woman, she was addicted to illicit relationships. So she used to maintain a lot of illicit relationships, and she you know indulged in prostitution. So within the village itself, she started, the name of the Brahmin was Hari Dikshita. Okay. So this Hari Dikshita's wife is Durachara, who is a very impious woman. She started doing prostitution, and because in the village, she was people were objecting. So what she did is she shifted to a nearby forest, and she used to invite her boyfriends to the forest to maintain the illicit relationships. Okay. Likewise, she used to lead like that. She used to lead her life. So one day, what happened? Nobody visited her. She was so much thirst of this, lust. She was waiting for somebody to come and quench her, thirst of lust. So nobody visited. She wandered here and there. She went to the village. She searched in the forest. Is there somebody coming this way or what? So that she can indulge in illicit relationship with them, like that. So for her bad luck, nobody, she could find nobody. So she became mad, crazy, because see, if people get addicted to this kind of things like lust, or it may be drugs or whatever it may be, if they are not being fed with those things, they become crazy, they become wild. They shout, they scream, all nonsense things they do. So this woman started screaming, shouting, yelling, and when she started shouting, there was a tiger who lived in that forest. The tiger heard the voice of this woman. The tiger immediately jumped and started attacking this woman. And this woman was shocked to see this tiger, because all this while she was living in the forest, she never saw the tiger. She didn't even had knowledge that there is a tiger living in this forest. And and this tiger never attacked any of the villagers. And she was like shocked to see, and see that the tiger is attacking her. She got a doubt, and she immediately stopped the tiger, and she started shouting towards the tigers, asking that, why are you attacking me? What is the reason? Why are you attacking me? Where were you all these days? I never saw you in this forest. There is a nearby village. If you want to attack, you will get lot of people to attack and eat meat. Why are you attacking me only? Like that, she asked the question. She asked the tiger, she insisted the tiger to answer her question, then kill her. Then tiger started speaking to this woman. So the tiger told her that, say, I also used to live in a nearby village which is called Munipurna. So I was a young Brahmana boy who used to live in that Munipurna village. However, though I was a Brahmana, I was supposed to lead a life which should be beneficial to the other living beings. However, I never lived such a life. So Brahmanas are called Purohitas. Purohita, the name, the meaning of Purohita means, Pura means the Praja, the living beings, the people. Pura means the living beings. Hita means the well-wisher, who well wishes the puras, I mean, who always well wishes about the well wishes good for the people. He's called Purohita. So this tiger started speaking to this Brahmin woman, saying that, I was a Brahmin boy lived in nearby village called Munipurna. I never led a Vedic life, though I was a learned scholar. I started selling the Vedic knowledge. I used to um, perform fire sacrifices. I mean, those are false fire sacrifices. He used to pretend as if he's performing the fire sacrifice to satisfy the devatas. He used to perform fire sacrifice for his satisfaction, to gain money from the people. And whatever offerings that were brought by the people to offer in fire sacrifice, he used to consume them. So he used to pretend as a pious Brahmin. And the Vedic knowledge, whatever he had, he used to sell the Vedic knowledge in the sense, if somebody comes, approaches him, and asks for something, he used to take money and tell. It could be any personal issue, or it could be any issue for personal problem, or whatever it may be, or preaching the scriptures, whatever it may be, is to take money and do all those things. It should not be done. If somebody volunteer, he is to demand and take money. That should not be done. If somebody voluntarily gives as a offering, that can be taken, but we should not demand. Okay. So this person, this Brahmin boy, he never used to follow that. And he even used to torture the beggars and steal money from those beggars. And he whenever he takes any loan from anybody, he never used to repay the loan. He used to make them suffer. He used to cheat them. So this was the lifestyle of this Brahmin boy. So eventually he became old. So even when he became old, elderly person, so his body was, though his body was not supporting, he was still greed out of money. Still, he used to go to the nearby river, and he used to sit and look for somebody who wants to offer Shraddha Karma to their parents. So if the Shraddha Karma is offered, if the Shraddha Karma need to be performed, so we have to do the Pindodaka offerings to the ancestors, and the Dakshina to the Brahmins should be given, and nice foodstuffs should be fed to the Brahmanas. So he was. he was very much fond of those things, money and all those whatever is been offered in Shraddha Karma. So he used to look for people who come to offer Shraddha Karma to their ancestors. Though he doesn't, he was unable to recite mantras properly. He still used to take advantage of his Brahmin birth and take money from the innocent people. So one day, what happened? Uh, he was, going back to the home. So on the road, there was a dog who bited this, who attacked this Brahmin, and because the dog, attacked him, he was an old man, so he fell down on the road. Immediately, when he fell down on the road, he left his body. After he left his body, he took birth as a tiger. So when he was a human being, he used to torture people to loot money out of them. So same kind of naturistic body he got. How does the tiger live? Tiger attacks people, and it eats away the flesh of the people. In the same way, what the Brahman was doing, he got the same naturistic body. So like that, this tiger narrated his past life to these women. And like, uh, you may get a doubt that how could a Brahman learned person behave like this, even after reading the scriptures. It is because people start reading scriptures, understanding scriptures with the different moods. Some will start understanding scriptures for self realization, and some will understand or take advantage of scriptures for self body maintenance. So this person took birth as a tiger. Though he took birth as an animal, he still had a consciousness of his past life because he was well versed in the scriptures. So this is the advantage of the scriptures. So even if somebody, I mean, sincerely reading scriptures, understanding scriptures or not, doesn't matter. With whatever consciousness he reaches, he reads, understands the scriptures, some sort of benefit they will get. So the benefit that this tiger got is, the tiger could remember the past life of him, and in this life, being a tiger, this tiger told to that lady that, now I got this life of tiger, so now I'm trying to lead a very pious life. I'm taking association of the sadhus, and I'm not am not attacking any innocent human beings. I'm only eating the flesh of those human beings who leads a very impious life, who leads life against to the scriptures. Because as a tiger, it cannot subsist, it cannot maintain his body by eating fruits and leaves. It has to eat by the bodily nature, it has to eat meat. However, in that hymns also, the tiger followed a kind of dharma, which is that those who lead impious life, the tiger understands, looking at them, it understands that he's a impious person. So the tiger will attack those people only. So that was the sadhana this tiger was doing. And immediately after the tiger narrated his story, he immediately um, pierced her, and he took away the flesh of the woman's body, and the tiger ate away the woman's flesh completely. And this woman who left the body by the attack of tiger, in her next life, before taking the next birth, so the Emadutas, the soldiers of Lord Emma, they took her body, they gave her Yatana Sharira to her, and they put her in the hellish planets. So those who indulge in illicit relationships, they will be given few certain punishments, that a huge iron block will be heated up, and they will make them to hug that huge iron block, and they will put them in filthy places, which is filthy wells, okay, which is filled up with stool and other kind of all filthy things. And this woman was given such punishments for crores of kalpas. So, kalpa means, right now we are in Svetavaraha kalpa. So, one kalpa contains 14 manvantaras. Right now we are in 7th manvantara, which is Vaivasvatara manvantara. Okay. And there are 30 kalpas like that. So, each kalpa has 14 manvantaras, and each manvantara contains 71 yuga cycles, 4 yuga cycles. Each 4 yuga means Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this one cycle of these four becomes one Chaturyuga. Like that, 71 Chaturyugas make one Manvantara, and like that, 14 Manvantaras make one Kalpa. Like that, 30 Kalpas will be there. And this woman was punished for crores of Kalpas. You can understand the time. Okay, so four yugas into 71, 71 into 14, 14 into 30. So this and 30 into many crores. So that much time this woman was made, this woman was punished. And after her punishment was completed, she took a birth in a uh, low degraded family. And in that family also she took birth with lot of bodily ailments. She suffered leprosy, she suffered tuberculosis. All these sufferings she underwent because of her impious life. She was given a Brahmin birth, one who got such a but she could have taken advantage of that birth, and she could have taken association of her husband, and she could have did a sadhana to go back to Godhead. However, she misused it. She misused it for illicit relationships, because of which she had to suffer these huge punishments for a long time. So after that also she didn't get proper birth. She took birth in a low, degraded family with a lot of diseases, leprosy, tuberculosis, so and so. Okay. So, with that diseases, she started wandering here and there, here and there. And one day, for her fortune, she came to the same village where she used to live, the Harihara Pura, Harihara Kshetrapuram. She came, and this place was very pious place, because in this place Harihara, Lord Vishnu and Shiva, both were worshipped in a famous temple in that particular place. And there was also one of the temple which is dedicated to Sharvani, who is the wife of Lord Shiva. So this woman, when she reached to her previous place where she took birth in her previous life, she took darshan of Sharvani, and she went to the Harihara temple, which is located in that village. And in that temple, there was a Brahmin called Vasudeva. So this Brahmin, after finishing his rituals, worship and all those things, daily he used to recite this 13th chapter, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the body enjoyer and the consciousness. So daily he used to recite this 13th chapter. So this woman, that day when she visited the temple, this Brahmin, that Vasudeva Brahmin was reciting the 13th chapter. She sincerely heard the 13th chapter. That's it. So that 13th chapter, by hearing the 13th chapter, she got liberated. She was elevated to heavenly planets. And in this 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so there are different types of paths given for liberation of human soul. Okay. So Krishna speaks a lot about how this body came into existence. What are the different elements? What is the different elements which got mixed so that this body evolved? Okay, what is the actual knowledge to be known? okay, by the human beings once they get this body. All those things Krishna explain. And in the 13.20th sloka, Krishna says, Krishna also says, how this material nature, the Prakriti got into existence, how this body got into existence, all these things he explains. And how does, once we get the body, what are the reasons? Why do we indulge into ignorance? Why do we behave ignorant? That also Krishna explained. He says that Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Udbhavapi Vikaram Sagunam Chaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So the Prakriti is the Bairanga Shakti of Lord, okay, and the living entity who is the Tatastha Shakti, the marginal energy of the Lord, are unborn. They are always there. They come into existence. They again, go back when the Mahapralaya happens. Again, they go back into the body of Supreme Personality, and again they come into existence. When they come into existence, they produce byproducts because of their nature. Okay. Uh, Then Krishna says, Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakritiruchate Purushasukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Heturuchate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. So, the material nature is the cause for different effects. However, living entity, they themselves become the cause for their own sufferings. How is that possible? How does it happen? Is explained in the next sloka 13.22. Because so here Krishna is saying that nature does everything. However, living things are responsible for their own sufferings. How does that happen? Krishna says that Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhunkte Prakritijan Gunan Karanam Guna Sangasya Sadasatyoni Janmasu. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. Okay, so when we talk about material nature, we need to understand three important things. The material nature is made up of sattva, rajo, and tamoguna. Okay, and even material nature now, every now and then it transforms into different modes. Okay, when living entity starts mingling with the material nature, when he starts enjoying these three gunas, the three modes of material nature, which is sattva, raja, and tamo guna. So it is already told that in the sattva platform, we will not be suffered. However, in rajasic and tamasic platforms, when we take association of rajoguna and tamoguna, we are made to suffer, because rajoguna and tamoguna are by nature, they give suffering to the human beings. So the nature of rajoguna is that uh, false ego develops. So I am doing everything, everything is in my control, I did everything, I am the supreme, kind of false ego develops when one gets takes association of rajoguna. And when one takes tamoguna association, he will he will indulge in like he will not do anything which is Vedic. For example, he eats which is not good for health, or he takes association, he indulges in too much of illicit relationships, kind of all bad habits he will indulge with. So for time being, for temporary uh, happiness, he takes association of rajo and tamogunas, which are part of the material nature. Okay? That is how, that is the source how the human being uh, gets into suffering, all kind of sufferings. Okay, then Krishna says, Upadrishtana mantacha bhartha bhokta maheshwara paramatmepi chapyukto dehesmin purusha para. Yet in this body there is another a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So Krishna is saying that the super soul is always there in the human beings itself, who makes note of what this human soul is doing by taking this body. He he is the one who, and he is the permitter. He grants everything based on our deeds, what we do. And that person who is existing in the human body is the super soul. Okay. य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषा प्राकृतिम चगुणैः सह सर्वतो वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. So, those who knows the difference between material nature, the bodily nature, and the nature of super soul, those who clearly understands these, those who understands that yes, the material nature consists of three modes, that is sattva, rajoguna. Hence I am not supposed to take association of rajo and tamoguna. I am supposed to take association of sattva guna. This is one of the knowledge. And hence I and this body are different. Though I am beginningless, though I am unborn, okay, still I am in this body because of my nature, because of my nature which I had. I am maintaining that from past few lives. Okay, so I also should understand that within this body there is a super soul. I am supposed to become servant of that super soul. This kind of knowledge, once gets in contact with this kind of knowledge, then they will be eligible for liberation. Okay. Yeah, and here which is very very important, the next two slokas are very very important, which describes the entire Sanatan Dharma, the entire paths which are there in Sanatana Dharma for self-realization are being told in the next two slokas. Okay, so in 13.25, Krishna says that dhyanena atmani pashyanti kechid atmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. So Krishna is saying that some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation process, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. So the first process, meditation process, is the unmanifested sadhana, the nirakar sadhana, and the second one, cultivation of knowledge, jignasi. So there are different types of, as I told in the beginning, there are different types of spiritual practitioners. One amongst them is jignasi. Jignasi is a kind of person who will be excited, interested to know more about scriptures. He neither has lot of devotion nor practices any kind of devotional activities or meditation. He keeps on learning, knowing, reading, and all those things about scriptures, and about the super soul, about the human soul, everything. He will be very much curious to learn things. And that process also, though he is not interested in doing devotional practice or meditation practice, but still he gets benefit by just understanding the scriptures, learning the scriptures. Then those who follow the knowledge process also, they also get benefited, they also get eligibility to liberation. So there are a few things which the liberation is called salvation. The salvation is nothing but just quitting the body and becoming void, or merging with Brahman, or the Sayuja Mukti, what we say. And still others, there are others who also tries to understand, who also tries to become self-realized by doing nishkama karma, doing work without any desires, fruitive desires. Okay, so these are three main: meditation process, the knowledge process, and doing actions without expecting anything, any results out of them, any selfish results they don't expect. That is also one of the process which elevates human beings to become self-realized. Okay, these are three main self-realization processes. Apart from these three main self-realization processes, there is one which is very prominent in Kali Yuga, which is being suggested to the Kali Yuga people, and that's what we stress on. Okay, that is in 13.26. Krishna says that anye tva evma jhanata shrutva nebhya upasate tepi chaditarantyeva mrityum shruti parayana. So apart from all those three which were spoken in 13.25, there is one another process, my dear Arjuna. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, being to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others, because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So why do we say that hearing is very important? Why do we chant loudly? Because any mantra you take, any in a, to you go to any spiritual personality and you take diksha, they give mantra, they tell you to recite the mantra without sound. They ask you to recite within. They don't suggest you to sound it outside. However, in our process, we say that when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you chant loudly so that you hear the same mantra, which will be beneficial to you. The reason is because this is the last easiest process which which is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna to Kali Yuga Vasis, is that the other three processes are bit of difficult in Kali Yuga, because meditation in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says how one can achieve the topmost position of samadhi by doing meditation, and what all things he need to take care before he sits for meditation. Everything has been clearly narrated by Krishna in the 6th chapter. And if you practically take those things, if you try to arrange yourself, accommodate yourself in the way how it has been suggested, it's very difficult in Kali Yuga. People they teach meditation, however that is a kind of very primary practice. Very few people reach to the topmost thing in meditate in the yoga process. There is hatha yoga. Okay, step by step they have to learn and elevate. So in the Ashtanga Yoga, there are different parts, Yama, Niyama, Ahara, Pratyahara, the Ahara, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, then Samadhi. So the eightfold steps you have to travel to reach the highest, topmost position of Samadhi. Okay, once you once you are situated in Samadhi position, that is when that process is successful. But it's very difficult for Kali Yuga people to meditate and reach to that process. Still, people will try. We should not discourage them, or we should not comment on them. That's a process like that we have to understand, and we have to look for even more simpler one. Okay, next, the knowledge process. People read lot of things, however in Kali Yuga there are many scriptures which are being lost. So I personally try to understand or hear 18 Puranas. However, I could only hear few. There were few which are not available, very rare to available, and there is very few people who even told 18 Puranas. And we have, like 4 Vedas and 2 Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and then 18 Puranas we have. After that, we have 108 Upanishads, and then we have Smritis. Okay, so if one has to read all these, this lifetime is not enough to read all these scriptures. That's the reason, the conclusive scriptures, 2 scriptures were suggested to us by our previous acharyas are Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. If one can read these conclusive scriptures, then their life is successful. If one can read and understand this, at least these 2 scriptures, their life is successful. That's what our previous acharyas instructed us. Because our lifetime is not I got Mahabharat, the complete Mahabharat set. This one of her devotees, she asked me, Prabhuji, what can I gift you? She said. I told her, gift me Mahabharat. So she gifted me Mahabharat. It is of like, some 8 to 10 volumes, and it is of 1 lakh slokas. Okay, so when will I read? I daily look at those books, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and I always beat my head. When will I read all this? Because of the lifestyle that I am leading, I daily feel that it's very impossible to read and understand all the scriptures. So I only read Chaitanya Charitam, few slokas from Chaitanya Charitamrita, few slokas from Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita, few chapters. This is my timetable. So if I get some time, then if I get some time, then I will try to read them. So the knowledge process is also very, very difficult. And next comes the karma yoga. So it is very even more difficult to do something without expecting anything. It's impossible. So that's the reason the most simple, easiest path is being suggested to us. That is the hearing process. Here the pastimes of Lord. Krishna already told, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktva deham punarmoham naiti mameti. So Arjuna, in 4th chapter, Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. Those who understand my birth, my pastimes, the secret in my pastimes, they are successful, they get liberated, they are eligible for liberation. He told that in 4th chapter. Again, he's telling it again. He's telling to Arjuna that this hearing process is very simple. Those who are not very much conversant with the above 3 processes, they can take the process of hearing. Just hear the holy name of Lord, hear the pastimes of Lord, that's it. Life will be successful. So that's what Krishna says in 13.26. Okay. Then Krishna says that, Yavat sanjhayati kinchit sattam sthavarjangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyoga tadviddhi Bharatarshaba. O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. So whatever that is there in the in the universe, in the creation, which is moving and non-moving, is only a combination of the fields of knower of the field. Okay. And this is very, very important. The next sloka is like 13.28. So this is a kind of instruction. This is a sadhana. This is a stage of. This is one of the level that one has to reach, which will make them a which will make them a elevated spiritual, I mean, a Shuddha Bhakta, we can say. Okay. Krishna says in 13.28, he says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwara vinashatsva vinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within uh, the dis- the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. So Krishna is saying, he is situated equally in every individual body. So there are a Jivatma and Paramatma, both are residing in this body, and who understands that these the both a super soul and individual soul who is residing in this body are non destructible. If I realize that, then that is success. Then Krishna says, Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavastitam ishvara nahinasthyatman atmanam tato yati parangatim. So one should see that the super soul is situated and equally in everybody, And one who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches the transcendental destination. So the very primary thing that why we address each other as Prabhuji, Mataji, is that we are addressing the super soul situated in every living being. Though we are not in a level of consciousness to understand that super soul is present in everybody, still we practice virtually, verbally we practice to address everybody with a consciousness of understanding super soul is situated in every living entity. So as long as one who sees super soul equally present everywhere, he is successful in every living being. Okay. Prakrtyaiva Prakrtyaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasa yap pashyati tat atmanam akartaran sa pashyati. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, who is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. So a self-realized person, nature will be like this, they don't have they don't have bodily consciousness. They are not bothered whether body is perishing or nourishing. They are only bothered whether they are worshipping or not. So whatever activities, in fifth chapter Krishna says that um, Pashyan Sunvan Spushan Jagran Asnan Gachan Sopan, all this, touch, smell, the, taste, everything that is been done, that is been experienced by the body. A person who is situated in a self-realization mode, they only see that, this body is, experiencing all those. However, the I, the me, who is a soul, who is the living, who is the actual being, the soul, who is the servant of the Lord, has nothing to do with these bodily experiences. With that consciousness, they lead their body. There was a very famous person, though he is a though he is not into the Madhurya Bhakti process, but he's a very great, one of the profound spiritual personality. His name is Ramana Maharshi. I guess most of you have heard about him. So he is one of the exalted personality. He was a self-realized man. So one day, what happened? Ramana Maharshi was wandering in Arnachalam. Accidentally, he stepped on a small plant, to which there was a small honeycomb was there. And because he stepped on that plant, see, the honeycomb was, they got disturbed, and the honeybees, they started going away. So he was so much upset with that, because because of him stepping on the plant, this uh, honeycomb got disturbed. So what he did is, he kept his leg there itself, where the honeybees are flying. And for some time, he kept his leg there only. So after some time, one of his disciple, he came and he asked him, my dear Maharshi, why are you standing? Why are you stepping on that I mean, at this place and standing? Because of you stepping here, all the honeybees are biting you. Why are you doing this? Please come out of this place. Like that, his disciple requested. However, this person, Ramana Maharshi, he replied to his disciple that, this leg is there, no? This leg has disturbed this honeycomb. Hence, it deserves a punishment from the honeybees. That's the reason I'm standing here. So he doesn't have any bodily consciousness that he will be experiencing the pain because of the honeybees bite. He only he knows that he only knows that I am not this body. This body did some mistakes, hence this body should undergo the punishment. So such level of consciousness will be there. In fact, in our parampara, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, once, they were traveling, and accidentally there was some bird's nest was disturbed because of them. So they immediately stopped their vehicle, and he asked his disciples to make sure that the bird's nest is again kept properly, because for them, uh, every living thing, every living being, living entity is as good to be honored. So people who are situated in that platform, they are eligible for liberation, or going back to Godhead, or taking the Sarupya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, whatever it may be. They are aspiring for. But people who who are situated in that elevated position, they don't care about mukti or liberation or salokya, sarupya. They only care about worshipping Lord, and being equal to every living entity. Okay, so that's what Krishna says until the 13.28. So I wanted to stop here. We will continue from 13.29 in our next class. Okay, so till here, if anybody has any doubts, you can ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Ante, see, they have done so many mistakes. That tiger, also that women. And when they heard the 13th chapter, they are liberated. So
Right.
from this, maybe we will learn in a wrong, means we can do mistakes and hear about 13th chapter. Like that, we may get the thought, no, Prabhuji. Is it correct?
Yeah, absolutely, it is not correct. Obviously, it is not correct. However, the lady, she underwent lot of punishments. When her complete, when whatever punishments she deserves, after undergoing all those punishments, she got an opportunity to hear the 13th chapter.
Okay.
So human beings may think that I'll just hear, and these things, and all my sins will be washed away like that.
Yeah.
However, it's not easy thing for one to come to this stage of hearing few Bhagavad Gita slokas. There are many people, thousand crores of people, they don't even know what is Bhagavad Gita. They don't even respect Bhagavad Gita.
Means once we come to hear Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
means we are fortunate to some
Absolutely false. Absolute to lot of extent, we can say. That's the reason Krishna says in 7th chapter, Bahunam Janmanam Antye Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. After many births only, they come to me and they understand that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Vasudeva is everything. They understand. With this consciousness, they come to this consciousness only after many births. And such souls are very rare. So that's the reason, many people come into Krishna consciousness. They come, they go, but still, they comment, but they don't withstand with Krishna consciousness, because, still they didn't get the eligibility of understanding the actual knowledge, or going back to Godhead. So those who stick, those who spend some time in understanding Krishna consciousness, they are lucky.
After listening to Bhagavad Gita classes also, there are people who make mistakes.
Of course. Of
what
course.
about this?
Yeah. So for those, what will happen in the... Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. So those who, even after listening to many scriptures, those who does commit mistakes by taking advantage of the scriptures, what will happen to them is, the tiger in the story represents that. He was a Brahmin, learned man. He misused it. Still, he got a favor of knowing his past life, because of which he started behaving nicely. He started leading, though tiger, tiger can attack anybody whenever he feels hunger. It will attack anybody and it will eat away. However, this particular tiger in this story, he told that I only eat people who are indulged in illicit relationships and sinful. And I'm taking association of sadhus because I still remember, because of my past deeds, I am experiencing this violent animalistic body. So that
Means
kind of consciousness.
by repenting also we get that consciousness.
Correct, Mataji,
So
correct.
good
So
consciousness.
yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Welcome,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam.
Pranam,
Prabhuji, what is
Mataji.
the source of the stories where you get this excellent stories?
These are in Padma Puran, Mataji. So Padma Puran, it was these stories were told to Mother Parvati by Lord Shiva. So Mother
Okay.
Parvati is the first and foremost teacher to all the living entities. She questions Lord Shiva and he answers to her. Okay, for the benefit of everybody. So those are been recorded in Puranas, scriptures. From there we get this. In Padma Puran, these stories are there.
Prabhuji, Mother Parvati is only the Maya being.
Yeah, I mean that is her responsibility.
Yes, yes. No, but I just wanted to know.
Yeah, that is her responsibility. She is the Bhairanga Shakti, Durga Devi of Lord. That's her responsibility. However, she is not in Maya, but she is Maya.
And when here Krishna himself says that other paths are difficult and the bhakti path is easy, but why people are not taking it up when it is Krishna is saying it is easy? Like you have explained, no? Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
this what uh, first one what you said about
Meditation process, the
meditation.
Nirakar.
Yeah, Nirakara.
Mm.
So that will take so much of time.
Yeah. So the reason is that these above three processes, the meditation process, the knowledge process, the Nishkama karma process. These are also authentic processes which were there in previous yugas, and they are also prescribed in our scriptures. So we cannot say they are not authentic. We can only say they are a little bit hard. However, people, they don't come across the taste of bhakti yoga. Okay. See, for example, in Kruta Yuga, the Satya Yuga, this tapas was the only process by which one can get one can one can understand the self realization process. However, when it came to the Treta Yuga, then the process of self realization is doing fire sacrifices. And when it came to the Dwapar Yuga, then worshipping Lord in the deity form in temples. And when it came to Kali Yuga, only chanting holy name. Okay, all these processes are authentic only, which are there in scriptures. So however, people, when they start their spiritual life, they go to some extent and they understand that this is ultimate, and they stop there itself. They don't understand the scriptures in a conclusive manner, whereas we does. Because how did we how am I telling that we are understanding the conclusive part of scriptures is that when Vyasa Bhagwan, who is none other than Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Vyasai Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. So it is said that Vishnu is Vyasa Bhagwan is the Amsha of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is Vyasa. And Krishna also tells that he is Vyasa Bhagwan is nothing but him only, like that. So when Vyasa Bhagwan wrote, he compiled the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, and after writing Mahabharata also, he was not satisfied. He was still unsatisfied. Then his spiritual master Narada Muni came and instructed him to write, which describes about the pastimes of Lord, which are very very sweet, loving memories of Lord, which will make you satisfied. Then he wrote Bhagavatam, and he after that he didn't write anything. So that's how we have to understand the Bhagavatam is the conclusive scriptures, which says that, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So that's what we follow. So most of them, they don't come across, even though they come across, they understand in a mood of, unmanifested, worship. So that's the reason they don't take up this bhakti process. They still can understand that, bhakti process is a very primary process in a spiritual life. The highest is, not worshipping anything, which is not, suggested in any scriptures. Bhagavatam completely suggests that bhakti process is the topmost process, which is easy also. And that's what in Bhagavad Gita also told. Okay.
No, Prabhu, it is not easy. Prabhupada himself says that it is not easy because
Okay.
as in when we progress, Prabhu, it is like earlier it will be exciting and we wanted to know
Yeah.
everything newly. Later,
Mhm.
it is like we get used to the process and everything. We will have a habit of tend to take things easily.
Mm.
And at that time, the mind start playing tricks with us. This is what
Okay.
I'm experiencing these days.
Okay.
Like, because we used to got used to things, no, now it is we are familiar. Now it is taking us to telling us to take things lightly. You can sometimes avoid these things, you can do that thing. So in this way, the mind is playing games and it is becoming tougher.
Okay. Yeah, that is the reason, when you are following the bhakti process, it is suggested to be in association of devotees. Regularly take association of devotees. By that, you will understand what kind of lifestyle we need to lead, and you get inspired, encouraged. And in bhakti process, there are many activities. Like, last Sunday we did the Ratha Yatra. So my body was so much exhausted. My next day, none of my body limbs were. I was unable to lift. The legs were paining, hands were paining, but still, I was enjoying the bliss of Ratha Yatra, the mood, how the position happened, how devotees coordinated each other, that mood was the next day, even though body was paining, still I was enjoying the mood of Ratha Yatra, which happened the earlier day. So that means that, I'm in another way, I'm meditating on one of the bhakti activity only, right? So like that, if you in bhakti process, whatever different activities that we perform, if we take part in that, um unknowingly, without our consciousness, without our struggle, without our efforts, we will become disciplined, sincere. We will start loving Lord. As long as you have a good enough love towards Lord, you will not feel it as a difficult.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
One last question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Yesterday, day before yesterday, I was reading Bhagavatam second canto, wherein Prabhupada is given an example like the pastimes of the Lords are continuously going on in every Brahmanda. Like if it is enter, then it is here in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
When it is end, it will start in other universe. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to know that in different universes, the yugas will also be different, or how? Like in our universe, it is Kali Yuga. So in other
Yeah.
universe, it will be which yuga?
As per my knowledge, what I understood is it will be the same. It
So
will be the
now here,
same.
500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have incarnated, right? So when he
Yeah.
completed his pastime here, the next he goes to the other universe and
No, there is a certain time period which is given. Like, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears only in Kali Yuga. There is some certain period. After certain period is passed, that time only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. Okay. So if that period is there in another yugas, probably there may Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may appear. So how can we say that, same thing will happen in other yugas? Is that, the Brahma Vimohan Lila teaches us. So when Brahma got bewildered with, or Brahma was confused with the expansions of Lord, then he goes to Lord to request to forgive him. Then he sees many Brahmas coming with four-headed, form, Chaturmukha form. He sees many Brahmas coming to take darshan of Lord. Okay, that means that in every universe there is a Brahma who looks like same, and they perform the creation, and everything happens same. Okay, so with that Brahma Mohan Lila, we can understand that in different Brahmandas also same thing will happen, same incarnations will happen like that. However, there will be little change which are called Kalpa Beda. Time being, time and circumstance, there will be little differences. Sometimes, like you'll be you'll get confused if I tell now. However, sometimes you hear that, but still I'm trying to tell. Sometimes you hear that, Lord Ramachandra took birth in so and so place. Some people say Lord Ramachandra took birth in in South India in so and so place. Or Lord Ramachandra came to Vanavas into South India to so and so place. However, some says that, Lord Ramachandra did Vanavas in one of the places in North India, like that. Why these differences are coming is that, in different kalpas, when like right now we are in Shvetavaraha kalpa and Kali Yuga. Once this Kali Yuga ends, again Satyuga starts. Again, after that Satreta Yuga starts. Again, the Dwapar Kali Yuga, and this cycle will be going on. And again, in those yugas, also same incarnations will, come appear. However, probably in a slightly different places, or give to birth to born to different personality, different devotees, like that. There will be little changes, but mostly the same thing will be happening, same itihasas will be going on.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Welcome, Mother. Hare Krishna. Any other questions, anybody? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one small.
Yes, Prabhu.
Like certain, I mean, we know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I mean, as a Paramatma, resides in every living entity. But sometimes we are forced to kill certain insects which harm us. So what happens as a result? I mean, some wild animals, not animals like snakes, these things also, when we encounter, out of fear we kill them. And also these cats or dogs, right? I mean, we are intentionally, we avoid feeding them because our association with them increases more and more. If we kind of start feeding them, they will not leave us till they are dead. So these two related questions are there.
Yeah.
One
So
is
one is
feeding those animals and killing those insects, especially these mosquitoes. Whenever they bite us, we out of anger kill them.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, first thing, feeding animals is not a bad habit, is not a harmful thing. We can feed animals, we can feed domestic animals in a secluded places. We cannot bring a pet to our home, and we should not start feeding to that pet. However, if there are domestic animals like cat, dog are there, so you feed them in the places where they are. We can also feed prasadam also. I mean, whatever prasadam left over, sometimes we throw it in dustbin. Instead of throwing in dustbin, you probably, like, you bought some prasadam, you left it over, and next day it may not be um, in a good condition to eat. So such foodstuffs you can give, you can feed to animals. However, you should go to their places where they are and feed it there. Don't bring them into home and feed them. That's again, not a not scripturally suggested. We have to feed other animals, other living beings, but in the places where they are. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing, killing other living entities, could be mosquitoes or flies or cockroaches, whatever it may be. So in Bhagavatam, it is told that, jivo jivasya jivanam. So if one living entity has to live, they have to, kill other living entity. In fact, the vegetarians also kill other living entity. They are plants. Plants also has life. So we are allowed to kill only for the sake of maintaining this body, not for the sake of giving enjoyment to this body. For example, people take enjoyment in hunting animals. They just hunt. That's it. They have enough foodstuffs to eat. Still, they hunt animals for the enjoyment, just to show their skills of shooting and shooting arrows or shooting gun, whatever it may be. That should not be done. That should be avoided. And we kill flies and mosquitoes only when they harm us. So if the mosquito, you don't know where mosquitoes are hidden in your house. You don't get into the every corner of your house and you don't try to kill them. You leave it. When they come and bite you, that's when you kill you have to. Otherwise, you will get you will be attacked with dengue fever. So as long as for maintaining our body without any selfish motive, if you are trying to harm other living entities, then it's okay. That's fine. We cannot while cooking also, a lot of himsa happens. Whenever any mosquito or any living being gets killed in your hands, you just pray for that particular living entity. Let this mosquito take good birth in next life, probably a human being life, so that it can also understand the supreme person. It can also get chance to worship Lord, like that. Uh, wish for that living entity, so that that particular thing also will get good life in next life. Okay, so like that we can, and that's the very reason why do we offer food to Lord. So the offering food to Lord is first thing is we have to offer out of love. With lot of love we should offer, and primarily when we are trying to follow the spiritual process, in the beginning we offer food to make sure that the karmic reactions don't we don't get those karmic reactions. When we cooked the food, we did lot of himsa. So the we if we offer the food, then we know we can get rid of karmic reactions. With that mood initially we offer, but eventually that mood will transform into loving and affection. Okay, so that's the reason we cannot stop killing other living entities. However, we have to be very we have to be regretting for what we whenever we kill any living entities. Okay, we have to pray for them also. In that way we can help them. Okay, so this is how we have to save ourselves.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, welcome, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, is it compulsory to do Jagran on every Ekadashi or on special Ekadashi? Like today is a Devshani Ekadashi.
Yeah, it is recommended to Jagran, wake up on every Ekadashi. However, it's not possible, so we don't
At least 12 can
wake.
we do?
How much ever is possible to you, you do. Don't go beyond your capacity. That will again, harm your health, and you will not be able to even fast on next Ekadashi. So, how much ever is possible, you wake up, read some, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, like that. You spend some time or hear some nice pastimes of Lord. So do it to the extent you can do. Otherwise, it's okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So, any other questions? Okay. So, thank you all for joining today. So, I wish and pray Lord Krishna to bless all of you and make you success in your material life and spiritual life. So, we'll meet next Wednesday, same time, 7:30. Thank you all. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. That was
हरे
long.
कृष्ण. धन्यवाद.